Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Today, dear faithful, I would like to consider with you the fine spirit of our Lord with the disciples after his resurrection.
Un šodien Tevs Lukas gribētu apspriest ar mums Kunga Jēzus attieksmi pret saviem mācekļiem pēc augšām celšanas.
You know the different events with the different people after resurrection of our Lord.
Mēs zinām dažādus notikumus ar dažādiem cilvēkiem pēc Kunga augšām celšanas.
And I first would like to have a look at the holy women.
Un vispirms apskatīsimies svētos sieviešu gadījumu.
In the different Gospels, according to the different evangelists, we have different descriptions of what happened.
Daži evaņģelisti sniedz nedaudz atšķirīgus aprakstus par to, kas ir noticis.
And their intention is not to give a very exact description of all, but to make us understand, and so we have to bring them together.
Un evaņģelistu uzdevuma nebija sniegt ļoti precīzu aprakstu, tāpēc mēs varam šo pilnu ainu gūt no visiem evaņģēliem kopā.
As I understand, there were about 3 or 4 women who came early in the morning to bring all these oils for the unction of the body of our Lord.
3 vai 4 sievietes bija atnākušas, lai pasniegtu kungam eļas tā apvedīšanai.
We learn there was Mary, mother of Jacob, and Salome, and Mary Magdalene.
Un šīs sievietes bija Marija Magdalena, Salome,
one other Mary.
Vēl viena Marija.
And it seems to me that these other women represented the spirit of holy Martha, and we had Mary Magdalene with her proper character.
Un Tevs domā par to, ka pārējās sievietes bija līdzīgas svētajai Martai, tas kalpošanas garam, un īpaša attieksme bija Marijai Magdalēnai.
And now the different characters of these persons will be taken in consideration by our Lord, the way he will learn them about his resurrection.
Un kungs ņēmis vērā šo sieviešu raksturu arī tajā, kāda veida viņas uzzināja par to, ka kungs augšām cēlies.
These women, the other Mary and Salome, took care about buying all the stuff they needed, and Mary Magdalene was around them and was excited to go with them to see the Lord.
Salome un otrā Marija bija rūpējušas par praktiskajām lietām, par to, kur nopirkt to, kas ir nepieciešams, un Marija Magdalēna bija ļoti tāda īpaša gara stāvokļa, kas gribēja ātrāk doties pie kunga.
It seems as usual, she was not really very effective and helpful, but full of emotion, for she loved our Lord.
Varbūt viņa nebija tik noderīga no praktiskā viedokļa, bet viņa bija pilna ar emocijām, jo ļoti mīlēja mūsu kungu.
The evangelists say that the women were scared about who would take away this big stone in the opening of the grave.
Evanģēlis stāsta par to, ka sievietes bija ļoti norūpējušas par to, kas palīdzēs viņiem atbrīvot ieeju kāpā no lielā akmeņa.
But I'm sure This was not preoccupation for Mary Magdalene. She even didn't think about such practical things.
Bet tevs domā, ka tas nebija tas galvenais jautājums Mārijai Magdalēnai, kas nedomāja toreiz par tik praktiskajām lietām.
Arriving at the grave, what did they see? It was open.
Un ko viņas redzēja, atnākot pie kapa, kaps bija atvērts.
But the reaction was not the same for all of them.
Bet reakcija nebija vienāda.
While these other women saw, were astonished, and slowly looked in and entered, and will see some angels, Mary Magdalene had another reaction.
Kaut tad, kad citas sievietes stāvēja uzraucīgi, mēģināja ieskatīties iekšā, tad Mārija Magdalēna rīkojas cita veida.
She was astonished and afraid, and immediately turned back and went to tell Peter and the disciples. No, what will she tell? I will say. So she turned and went back, and what will she tell to the disciples?
Un sveta Marija Magdalēna uzreiz aizbēga pastāstīt par redzēto apustuļiem Pēterim un Pāvilam, un ko viņa teica?
No, Pavel, Peter.
Pēteris atvainojas.
And we would expect that she would say, oh, the grave was open. But she didn't say that. She did not say what she saw, but she will tell what she thought.
Un viņa neteica, ko viņa redzēja, kā kaps ir atvērts, bet viņa pateica to, ko viņa bija domājusi.
She thought, and she told to the apostles, they took our Lord away.
Viņa teica apustuļiem, ka, lūk, kunga miesa ir paņemta.
Who they?
Un kas ir tie?
And why?
Un kāpēc viņi to izdarīja?
What for?
Priekš kam?
Where?
Kur?
She didn't know at all who and etc. But she just was afraid someone took him away before she saw the grave open.
Viņa nezināja faktus, bet viņa bija nobijusies, tāpēc, ka redzēja, ka kaps ir atvērts.
She will not wait the reaction of Peter and the others, but run back to the grave.
Un viņa negaidīja apustuļa Pētera un pārējo apustuļa reakciju, bet uzreiz skriešus devas atpakaļ pie kapa.
Meanwhile, the other women had the apparition of the angels who told her about the resurrection of our Lord.
Tajā pašā laikā citām sievietēm pa to laiku bija parādījušies eņģeļi un pasludināja, kas ir noticis.
Of course, they as well had some feeling and emotions, but they saw the concrete situation. They wanted to anoint the body, and it was not there.
Un, protams, ka viņam arī bija jūtas un emocijas, bet viņa skatījās praktiski, viņam vajadzēja izdarīt kunga miesai tas, kas pienekas, un viņas nevarēja to izdarīt, tāpēc, ka miesas nebija.
Very simply, they will receive the testimony of the angel saying, Jesus Christ has risen. Un
tieši viņas saņema no eņģeļiem liecību, ka kungs ir augšām cēlies.
Go and tell the apostles that they will see him in Galilee.
Ejiet un paziņojiet apustuļiem, ka kungs viņu satiks Galilejā.
So they will turn back. Of course, they are afraid, they never saw such a thing, and on the way back, they will be granted by the apparition of our Lord.
Un viņas paklausīja un aizgāja, un pa ceļam atpakaļ viņam parādījās pats kungs.
These women were used to be hard worker and to serve the others.
Šīs sievietes bija pieradušas smagi centīgi strādāt un kalpot citiem.
And our Lord takes in consideration their situation, their character.
Un kungs ņem vērā viņu raksturu.
He will show himself to them, show that he has risen, and tell them what they should do, that he asked them a service to do, bring this novel to the apostles.
Un kungs viņam parādījās un teica ļoti konkrētu lietu, kas viņam jāizdara, kāds pakalpojums jāizdara.
They were glad to receive such direction and job to do in honor of our Lord.
Viņas bija laimīgas saņemt vēl vienu uzdevumu kunga vārdā.
So they go and tell the apostles.
Tātad viņas aizgāja un pateica apostoliem.
Meanwhile, Saint Mary Magdalene, full of emotions and crying, will have the apparition of our Lord, but he does it in a different way for her.
Un Marija Magdalēna, kas bija pilna ar emocijām, viņa ir saņemusi kunga parādīšanos, bet cita veida.
He will approach and she will think this is the gardener.
Un viņai likas, ka tas ir dārznieks.
She is in so big emotion that she is not even able to recognize immediately our Lord.
Ka viņa ir tādu tik stipru emociju pārņemta, ka pirmajā brīdī pat nevarēja atpazīt mūsu kungu.
She has her interpretation that someone took the body of our Lord. So someone comes and she will ask him, where did you put it?
Viņai bija priekšstats, ka, lūk, ja kāds ir paņemis kunga miesu, un tad šīs kāds ir atnācis, un tad viņam var pajautāt, kur kunga miesa ir nolikta.
And it will need now the pronunciation of her name by our Lord, Mary. And now she will recognize him.
Un viņa pazina kungu pēc tā, kā viņš izrunāja viņas vārdu Mariju.
And of course she is full of joy, and her emotions are now she receives all what merited her emotions. She has the presence of our Lord.
Un lūk, viņa ir pilna ar emocijām, un viņa laimīga, ka kungs viņa ir parādījies.
Somehow our Lord showed her, Mary, look, pay attention. Don't be too emotive and not able to recognize the reality. I'm the reality, I'm here now, but not according to your idea.
Un tā kungs ļoti taktiski viņai aizrādīja, deva saprast, ka, lūk, esmu šeit, esmu realitāte, bet tā realitāte nav tāda, kādu tu biji iedomājusies.
So he takes in consideration her big merit, which is big love. He takes in consideration her big merit, what is big love for our Lord.
Un kungs Jēzus ņem vērā lielu Marijas Magdalēnas tikumu, lielu mīlestību pret viņu.
Time before, he already testimonied for her, saying, many sins are forgiven to her because her love is big. Kungs
kungs teica par viņu, ka lūk, daudzi grēki viņai ir piedoti, tāpēc, ka viņa daudz mīlējusi.
And our Lord is very glad about those souls who love Him a lot.
Un kungs vienmēr priecēs par dvēselēm, kuras daudz viņu mīl.
Nevertheless, there is need also of persons who are more connected to reality and help to do what is to be done.
No otras puses cilvēki, kas tuvāk saistīti ar realitāti, praktiskākie cilvēki arī ir nepieciešami.
So these other women did what they have had to do and announced to the apostles. And the apostles, on their side, were too close to material reality and had lack of faith.
Un lūk, tās sievietes, praktiskas sievietes, kas aizgāja vēsti par kunga augšām celšanos pie apustuļiem, satika apustuļus tādu stāvokli, ka lūk, arī apustuļi bija tādi praktiski un materiāli nevarēja noticēt.
Saint Mark, at the end of his gospel, give an abbreviation of these different apparitions, and at each time he says, and they didn't believe those who testified of it.
Svētais evaņģēlis Marks savā evaņģēlijā pat vairākas reizes piemin par apustuļiem, un viņi nav ieticējuši.
So Peter, who had a sanguine character and who was aware of his position of head of the apostolic college, will take a decision.
Un apustulis Pēteris pēc rakstura sangvinitismu, kurš apzinājus savu atbildību kā apustuļu vecākais vadītājs, viņš pieņemas lēmumu, ko darīt.
He said, so that's enough now. We had this Mary Magdalene and now these other women, and they say Jesus is not any longer there. I will go out and see myself.
Un viņš nolēma, ka lūk, pirmas sievietes teica, ka kungs ir augšcelis, tagad atnāk Mārija un saka to pašu, man pašam jāaiziet un jāpārliecinās par to, kas ir noticis.
Saint John, the youngest of the apostles, I think he had rather a choleric character, but well controlled, very disciplined, decides to accompany Saint Peter.
Svētais Jānis, kurš pēc tam palika par evaņģēlistu, Tevs uzskata, ka viņam drīzāk viņa raksturs bija holeriskais, kaut gan labi savaldītais, nolēma pavadīt Pēteri.
He was the one loved specially by our Lord, and he had such a pure and big love of our Lord himself. He wanted to go and see. Viņš īpaši tika mīlēts no kunga, un arī viņam bija tāda īpaša tīra mīlestība pret kungu. The others of the apostle, I do not pretend they all had the same character, but in this situation they signify maybe the phlegmatic character. They stay and wait what will happen.
Pārējie apostoli Tevs pieļauj, ka izradīja tādu flegmatisku reakciju, un viņi nolēma uzgaidīt, kas nu būs.
So, Peter and John will arrive close to the grave, and the apostle says John the younger was run quickly and waited in front of the entrance to let St. Peter enter.
Un apostolis Jānis, gados jauns cilvēks bija pirmais pie kapa, bet viņš gaidīja pie ieejas, kamēr atnāks atskrīt Pēteris.
So we see he was decided, he had his aim but very disciplined and with big respect of authority.
Tātad mēs redzam, ka lūk, viņš bija mērķtiecīgs, motivēts, bet viņam bija ļoti liela cieņa pret autoritāti.
And the gospel said that Peter arrived and straight right in.
Un evaņģēlijas vēsta, ka Pēteris ieradās un uzreiz devas iekšā.
And there he saw, and St. John then entered as well, and they saw. They saw the strings of linen there, and then it says they believed.
Un tad Pēteris pirmais iegāja, un pēc tam arī Jānis, un viņa redzēja tās drānas, un tad viņi ieticēja.
We mark that there was not yet an apparition by our Lord for them.
Un ņemsim vērā, ka šajā brīdī kungs Jēzus viņam vēl nebija parādījies.
They heard the other's testimony, that the angel said he rised, and the women who saw him, but they did not believe.
Viņi jau bija dzirdējuši sieviešu liecības, bet viņi nebija ieticējuši tajā brīdī.
Nevertheless, these are the person our Lord chose to bring forward the young church he founded.
Tomēr tieši šiem cilvēkiem bija uzticēt vadīt un attīstīt to jauno baznīcu.
These men who had their weaknesses, but a good sense of reality.
Šiem cilvēkiem bija savas vaigas, bet no otras puses bija ļoti stingra realitātes izjūta.
But they are not yet ready.
Bet viņi vēl nav gatavi.
Our Lord wants them to believe.
Kungs vēlas, lai viņi ieticētu.
And seeing in the grave these strips of linen, they start to believe what they should have known before, but they didn't believe.
Un tajā brīdī viņi sāk believe
to believe to the resurrection, believe in the resurrection. They did not believe before, though himself announced, the others announced, they did not believe. But now seeing this linen, they start to believe in his resurrection.
Viņi sāka ticēt tikai tad, kad viņi bija redzējuši tas drāmas.
And they are prepared in this way to see our Lord the same day in the evening.
Un tāda veida viņi bija sagatavoti, lai kungs viņam pats parādītos tās pašas dienas vakarā.
Meanwhile, we have two other disciples. I would say they were melancholic. They went to another place, to Emmaus.
Tai pašā laikā mēs zinām par vēl diviem mācekļiem, kuri varētu būt melanholiķi, kas devušies uz Emausu.
They were sad in the way and spoke about what happened and didn't see any issue.
Viņi bija ļoti bēdīgi, runāja par to, kas ir noticis, un neko neiedomājas.
They knew about what our Lord had told them and what the women who saw him risen told, but they did not believe.
Viņi zināja, ko kungs pirms savas nāves uz krusta stāstīja, un viņi arī dzirdēja par to, ko stāstīja sievietes, bet viņi nebija ieticējuši.
And here our Lord shows himself still in another way.
Un viņam kungs parādās cita veida.
He will start to accompany them while they do not recognize him and tell them, translated a bit much.
Kungs kungs viņam pievienojas ceļā.
And he will start to tell them in simple words that there is a correspondence.
Un viņš pa ceļam tiem mācekļiem nesteidzoties stāstīja par to, kāda ir saikne starp veco derīgumi, kas tikko bija no šie mācekļi, kas ir melanholiķi, bija izmisuma.
They want to see an order and a harmony.
Viņi gribēja redzēt kārtību un harmoniju.
And our Lord establishes this harmony for them now.
Un kungs atjaunoja viņiem kārtību un harmoniju.
He shows, but didn't all these things have to happen? For it was already told during all the centuries in the prophets, in the law.
Kungs viņam parādīja, ka šiem noteikumiem bija jānotiek, jo par tiem var izlasīt gan likuma grāmata, gan pie pravieša.
So point after point, he shows them that these prophecies corresponded to what happened with Jesus Christ.
Soli pa solim kungs viņam parādīja, ka lūk tas, kas ir noticis ar viņu Jēzu Kristu, ir tas, par ko runāja pravieši.
And more these disciples could breathe and feel good. And after they would have recognized him, they will say, but didn't our hearts being full of fire when we heard him explain all these things?
Un pēc tam, kad mācekļi atcerējas to notikumu, viņi jautāja viens otram, vai mūsu sirdis nebija iedegušas, kad mēs visu to klausījāmies.
Our Lord will open their eyes in the moment of breaking bread, a gesture they were used to see in his hands.
Un kungs sevi apliecināja žesta, kā tika lausta maize, jo mācekļi to žestu bija labi zinājuši.
At the moment they recognize him, he will disappear.
Un tikko mācekļi bija viņu atpazinuši, kungs pazuda.
But they found the peace in their souls, and quickly they will go back to the apostles and tell them.
Bet mācekļu dvēseles iestājas miers, un viņi steigšus aizgāja atpakaļ pie mācekļiem Jeruzalemē.
So they find the 11, says the Gospel, and they still would not believe them. The Gospel says they go find the 11 apostles, and they still do not believe what they tell about resurrection of our Lord. They go to find the 11, tell them, we saw the Lord, he has risen. But the Gospel says they did not believe.
Tātad 11. apostolis Tomas, kas nebija klāt, kad viņš uzzināja, ka kungs ir augšām ceļos, tad 11. apostolis arī neticēja.
They, the other 9, had heard from Peter and John what they saw in the grave. They had heard from the women and from these 2 disciples. They still not believed.
9 apostoli dzirdēja no Pētera un Jāņa, no sievietēm, no diviem mācekļiem, kas gāja uz Emausu, bet vienalga Toms neticēja.
And at this moment, our Lord so mercifully appeared to them all together.
Un tad kungs vēlreiz žēlsirdīgi parādījās viņam kopā.
Like to push the last of them to come now, believe.
Lai pārliecinātu to pēdējo.
So, of course, this was a big joy, but what I made a mistake. One of them was missing. This was Thomas.
Ja tas bija liels prieks, Tevs teica, ka viņš nokļuvis, ka ja viens tas bija Tomas.
He had too much of all these stories and what had gone away.
Kā Tomam pietika ar tiem stāstiem, viņš vienkārši kaut kur aizgāja.
And 8 days later, our Lord, especially for him will appear another time.
Un tātad speciāli priekš viņa kungs parādījās vēlreiz.
He was a big doubter, an unbeliever.
Un viņš bija tas skeptiķis.
And our Lord now will tell him, look at me, see these wounds. You wanted to put your finger in it, please, at my side. Put your hand here and be not an unbeliever anymore.
Un kungs teica Tomam, ieliec savus pirkstus manas rētas un esi ticīgais, nevis neticīgais.
So we could think that for the others, Peter and John, etc., our Lord wanted them to believe before his apparition. But for Thomas, he made an exception.
Tātad kungs gribēja, lai Pēteris un Jānis ieticētu pirms kunga parādīšanas, bet Tomam bija izņēmums.
He was so merciful with Thomas, but still he tells him to have faith, to believe. How can he ask him to believe since he shows himself?
Kungs bija ļoti žēlsirdīgs, teica Tomam ticēt, bet vai tā bija īstā ticēšana, jo kungs viņam pats parādījās.
He really helps him. But Thomas, seeing the real humanity of our Lord, still needs to believe in his divinity.
Bet Tomas redzot kunga cilvēciskumu, viņam bija vēl jāietic kunga dievišķība.
That's why he will say, my Lord and my God.
Un tāpēc Toms saka mans kungs un mans dievs.
At this moment, our Lord will bless those who do not need to see as much as Thomas to believe.
Un šajā vietā kungs nosauc par svētīgiem tiem, kas nav redzējuši, bet ieticējuši.
This addresses us, dear faithful.
Un tā ir uzruna mums.
We understand at which point our Lord was fine with these different characters of people.
Mēs redzam, cik kungs bija jauks ar dažādiem cilvēkiem, kam parādījās.
Even after his resurrection, he treated each of them as they needed.
Un viņa attieksme bija individuāla, katram cilvēkiem bija nepieciešams, lai ieticētu.
And across all the time, he will do the same with us.
Un arī ar mums notika līdzīga veida.
We are not all the same, not the same characters. Maybe some of us are much more emotional, others are hard believers, but for everyone, our Lord has the appropriate way to treat us.
Un mēs paši esam ļoti dažādi, kādi ir emocionālāki, kādi ir praktiskāki un tiekās grūtāk ietīts, bet kungs katram sagatavo kādu īpašu pieeju.
He expects from us that we open our hearts in the way we are able to, according to our character.
Kungs sagaida no mums, lai mēs atvertu savas sirdis.
And he asks us to believe.
Un kungs aicina mūs ticēt.
And he will help us.
Un kungs mums palīdzēs.
What do we have to do?
kas mums jādara.
Just what he told the apostles, they should tell all nations what they have to do.
Ko kungs teica apustuļiem? Ejiet un māciet visas tautas.
Receive the truth of the faith.
Saņemiet ticības patiesību.
Be baptized and practice sacramental life.
Esiet kristīti un praktizējiet sakramentālo dzīvi.
And be obedient to all what our Lord told us through the apostles to do.
Un esiet paklausīgi tam, ko kungs ar apustuļiem mums ir novēlējis darīt.
And this is exactly what the prayer of today, the collect, asked in a very simple way to God may grant us this grace that we may correspond in moral and religious way to the mystery of His resurrection. So the collect of the Mass of today helps us to pray exactly in this aim. I will explain.
Un šīs dienas lūkšanas, vai tas misas lūkšana kolekta, runa tieši par šo.
That our lives may, in moral way and religious way, correspond to the mystery of resurrection.
Lai mūsu dzīves moraliskā
and religious way correspond to the mystery of resurrection.
Lai mūsu moraliskā dzīve būtu attiecīga kunga augšām celšanas noslēpumam.
So we have to believe in the real resurrection of our Lord.
Mums jātic kunga augšām celšanos.
We have to testimony of this truth by our way of living.
Mums jāliecina par mūsu ticību ar mūsu dzīvesveidu.
And God will grant us the graces we need to reach the aim of everlasting life.
Un Dievs dos mums žēlastības, lai mēs sasniegtu mūsu mērķi, mūžīgo dzīvi.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.